Good morning and welcome back to Razmavsar TV. Yesterday we had multiple requests to talk about the position of the shield. That's why I titled this, Where is your shield? First of all, there is a reason you have a shield in fighting. It could be the shield, it could be a qameh, a khanjar, a card. When you have a qameh, khanjar or a card, this is obvious. It should always be in line next with your shamshir. You know, imagine there is a reason I have a secondary weapon, because shield is also for punching, shield punches is used. And this, it means that your secondary weapon should be in line. Now I'm in the middle guard, this is in line. And I'm pushed a Separ behind the shield. I'm in the middle guard, I am in front of the shield, in front because this leg is here, joloy Separ. Look how I close my guard. Behind the shield, in front of the shield. Push the Separ, joloy Separ. And look how I close them, not like that. This is an invitation to be cut. Shamshi bar farq zadan, for example, will be you cut you. So push the Separ, joloy Separ. I teach my students to keep like a scissor, H-E. You see that? Then it's going to be here. So they always learn push the Separ, joloy Separ. This is a horizontal guard, guard ufuqi. So I change it, guard miyane, middle guard, go joloy Separ, guard ufuqi. Look, guard miyane, guard ufuqi. Look how my hands change. Look at this. Right? So, once I'm here again, right? So I go and change. I'll come back and change. See, if I'm in the middle guard, I always keep that shield. It does not make sense to have the shield here and to have the shamshir here or here, because you're exposed. Which brings us to a very important fact. Where is your separ? Where is your shield? Meaning, where is your guard? Let me show you something. So you can see this Persian miniature, how the middle guard is kept. Please take a look at how shields, now look at this line, are there to protect the face, and how this is the high guard. Second version of high guard is kept, so they make sure that they can protect themselves. Look at this one, shields again kept in the front, and shamshir bar doush nahodan. Here in a single shamshir, look at the hand which is down there and how the attack is done. Here you see that how the shields are in line to protect themselves, and the other one which you see that, look at this, how to protect, turning towards the opponent and protecting it. Even when it goes to the ground, look, the man on the ground tries to put the shield between him and his opponent. Here again, you see that shield is in front. We had this picture already. This is a certain guard, right? In single shamshir, staying behind the shamshir, the same thing. I'm going to discuss them single shamshir techniques. Even on horseback, you see that, how the shield is kept there, which didn't help him. But you see that there are different things, so it is what I meant with the guard. In any realistic martial art, realistic means combat oriented. Now, I'm not saying that I'm against conceptual martial arts. I also love other martial arts for different reasons, for concentration. You don't need always to fight for, it's like, for concentration, doing different forms, different katas. They also help you for your positioning, for your concentration, for meditation, whatever. We leave that part aside. We come back and talk about realistic martial arts. Let me start with the very basic one. As you know, I wrestled and boxed for many years next to kickboxing, also at my own school. Imagine you are here, right, in realistic martial arts. I have a boxing guard. In a boxing, you see that, for example, if I'm here, right, I do jab. Look how I protect my body, Here a shot will take me down, liver shot. Here a shot to the heart will, be hard for me. Chin should be ducked, and then I punch. You see how I close my guard. Also, sometimes when I, in America, when I was on the team at our university, we go and then when we punch even like that, look how I protect my chin again with my shoulder. So anything is behind all this bobbing, weaving, anything is based on that. Between you and your opponent, there is a guard. You neglect your guard is gone. Sometimes we do like Ken Norton did, like this, but then they comes back and they go like that. But always a guard. You neglect your guard like here, you are knocked out. Unfortunately, in swordsmanship, there are some people who have not practiced any realistic martial arts, so they neglect the importance of having a guard. Guys, always do that. Like in boxing, if you come to Muay Thai, you see in Muay Thai the guard changes because, or in Kyokushin, let's stick to Muay Thai. Muay Thai, you need to protect your hand, but you cannot do bobbing and weaving, because if you do that, you're going to eat knees, or you're going to eat shin kicks, but still you're closed. So you see, I check the legs and then I punch. I have a more straighter guard because I also protect myself with the shin. If there are American kickboxing without low kicks, it is more or less a bit upright, but more like boxing. Again, there is a guard. Your first job in fighting, kickboxing without low kicks, Muay Thai with low kicks, boxing, is to destroy the guard, get rid of the guard, and land your punch. Sometimes we hit in the guard to weaken the guard, but you don't knock him out or knock him down. So the idea is to get the guard away. Again, the idea is to push the guard to the side. Like for example, I punch and he defends, he gives me an opening, then I come into the opening. Right, I punch, he brings his guard up, neglects his leg, and I do a shin kick. Same as in Kyokushin Karate. There are no face punches like in Muay Thai, but all kicks, you can grab and kick, a knee to the head, you can kick and knock out a guy in the head. Punches, full contact to the body, bare knuckle around, elbows to the body. You see, but again, in Kyokushin, everything, guard. In Muay Thai, guard is there. If you think guard is only, okay, MMA is, of course, MMA, you need also to be careful that they are not going to take you down. A bit, changes and combination of grappling arts and also of striking arts. Now, if you think only when striking is there, guard is there, you're wrong. Many of you know that I did many years Greco-Roman wrestling. If you do Greco-Roman wrestling, it's the same thing. You hold, for example, the back of the neck. You hold here the arm of your opponent, or So the idea is to keep between you and him your guard. This is a guard. You see that how they do it in Greco-Roman, and it's very interesting. Once, when I started to do Wing Chun, it improved also my Greco-Roman. So in Greco-Roman is to get rid of these arms. Same in Judo. If I grab the collar and grab here the gi on the elbows, and then I'm here. So, you need to loosen the grip of your opponent, which is in Judo, which is a guard. Then once I, loosen the grip, I can go in and do a throw. Otherwise, you cannot throw him because he has what? A guard. Judo, Greco-Roman. If you go to freestyle, you see they are down, and they also, for example, if he wants to go to my leg, I sprawl. This is my guard. I try to hold him, check his shoulder, sprawl on him. Freestyle has a guard, and we also say in Persian that as to guardish ratio, even in freestyle, you need to get through his guard. So freestyle wrestling has a guard, Greco-Roman has a guard, Judo has a guard. Now, let's go to the BJJ, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Every one of you have been doing it over now 13 years. If you do BJJ, what is the main tenet of BJJ? To keep someone, when you're on the ground, in your guard. As long as he sits in your guard, he's going to have a problem. What is the guard in Jiu-Jitsu? Imagine you're on the ground, right? And I'm here on the ground, and I keep him in the guard. When I'm in the guard, I can do different things, right? And I can submit him. Once he tries to pass my guard, he has to pass both legs of mine. And also, the best is, even if he passes this guard, in Jiu-Jitsu, you teach him your instructor, as they say, professor in Brazil, teaches you, at least between you and your opponent, there should be one limb of you, being one leg, the best is two legs. The best is two legs and control with the arms. If he passes one leg, at least one leg should control with the knee. Once he passes your legs and sits on you, he passed your guard, you're going to have a huge problem. So you see, passing the guard, be it in striking arts or in wrestling arts, is a big, huge problem. Never do that. Let me explain and go back to the Shamshi and Separ. Okay, we are in Shamshi and Separ. I explained this middle guard, push the Separ, horizontal guard, joloy Separ. You can also have push the Separ, high guard. You see how I guard joloy Separ. You see how my Separ is always there. It is not here. If you see someone does that, this is wrong, right? Now there is a principle in Shamshi and Separ. And this Separ is at least, look, one up, one in the middle. If you are forced to go down, I don't recommend it, to protect here, then this should come up, never both down. I know in some of these European sword and buckler where they both go down, but this is in a bind. They hold the weapon in a bind down. But then even if they hold the weapon down, he can shield punch you. Our idea is, once you defend here, then you attack to up, right? So I defend, the attack come here. Normally, you don't need to go that much down, you can just pass with your leg and attack. But if you have to, right, this is the whole idea, not this, right? This is not only exposing you completely, but your back and your side completely. This shows a lack of true understanding of a full contact art or a swordsmanship, real swordsmanship. Back then it meant, you know what it meant back then. So if one goes up, down, the other one is threatening up, right? Always like that. If I have to defend with the back of the shield, Shamshir, and bring it to the side, then I can shield punch. One down, one up, not both down, right? Sometimes when you are going up, I go up, you see, we have that. Thrust to here. I go up, I can thrust here, right? I go to the side, I can cut. I go to the side, right? I can cut. These things you can do as well. These are important factors to take into consideration, right? And now, let me just explain about other styles so we know what it is. When I started Razmafsar, many people back then always compared it to European sword and buckler. European sword and buckler is a different game. First of all, you have a straight sword, not as we use it in Shamshir. We have in Shamshir, you know, different miniatures where even the Shamshir comes here and the shield is here. Sword and buckler, as you know, this is always fought like that. They always protect the hand because they don't have a pass band or whatever, and they think from this binding, which is very interesting, a straight blade, and then they use it, they make sure that the hand is always protected. But what do they do? What does it teach? And of course in Razmafsar, because we have like a saber, Shamshi, if you want to use European term, with sweeping action, we have a different type. But what they have in common, both of them keep the guard. Again, I repeat, keep the guard. Interestingly, if you go to Caucasia, Georgia, and look in the beginning of the even 20th century or at the end of 19th century, there are some pictures and also some very old films. You see that also they use similar concepts as, not completely, because sometimes they also open an attack of as if their hands are handcuffed, of Georgian swordsmanship. But what do you have common with Razmafsar or with European sword and buckler again? They keep the guard. This is extremely important. If you go to the Japanese swordsmanship, you see keeping the guard, like in Tenshin Shoden Katori Shintorio, like in other swordsmanship, keeping the guard is extremely important. Always threatening. If you're in high guard with the tip of a katana, or like here, always threaten. If the guard is gone, you're going to be cut down. You're going to lose. So, let me explain with a larger shield, medium-sized shield. The concept of holding the guard, even with a medium-sized shield, becomes even more relevant. Because first of all, it is not as fast as a, it's a medium-sized, is heavier than the small Separ, small shield. And if you go down with that, and especially if you have Bosman, and I have strong arms, I do sport every day. I'm a strong guy, I think. And then you can bring it up. I can bring it up fast. Still, there are physical restrictions. Moving the heavier shield is much more difficult. So there even, you need to have less movement. Large shield even more, because even your arm here, the forearm is tied to another strap, right? So then if it comes here, bringing them down with the large shield makes even less sense. Keeping the guard with a big one, you see that how I keep my guard, right, is even more important to take into consideration, because that's the reason you have a shield to work with. So please remember one thing: go and box, go and do Muay Thai, do MMA, do wrestling, freestyle, Greco-Roman, judo, do a realistic martial arts. Let yourself be taken down to see how it hurts when you get punched, when you get kicked. Only then you understand the mechanics of realistic fight. When you come to swordsmanship, then you have an understanding why keeping the guard is important. Otherwise, you will not understand it. Thank you very much. Imagine now if I have a single Shamshi or single Qame or Qaddari. Let's stick to single Shamshi. And if I'm I am not a big fan of a single Shamshi because of its curve, but sometimes in miniatures it's shown mostly 90%, 95% are with the shield. But even if you have a single Shamshi, it is even more important if you're in a high guard, or if you're in a middle guard, if you're in a horizontal guard. It's important that most of the time, 90 to 95%, you're behind the shield. Could be that I cut, and it could be that I go to the side and cut, then I come back, and most of the time I am in front. Or if you put your hand here, because you have a bazu band, most of the time I am in front. Excuse me, my weapon keeps the guard. Like in jiu-jitsu, remember, at least one limb between you and your opponent. Your weapon is always between you and your opponent. It doesn't make sense to be all the time like that, or to go like that. If I'm here, then I need to come back immediately to the guard. So keep the guard, even if I swing. It doesn't make sense that I go to the side, expose myself, and then I'm going to be cut. So take this also into consideration, even in single weapons, please, especially in single weapons. So once you have a shield, your shield needs to protect you, gives you more protection. Shield is not there to go to the side.